Welcome back to Nursing Today Live. I'm your host, Katie.
And I'm Olivia.
Maria.
Kaylee.
And we've got breaking news for you, and it's not your average celebrity drama. Today we're diving into one of the most controversial studies in medical history, the Africa AIDS/AZT trials of the 1990s. Let's get into it. So what was this study all about?
Well, in Africa, during the HIV pandemic, researchers wanted to test whether the AZT worked. And that's the antiretroviral drug. It could reduce the risk of mothers passing down HIV to their babies.
Serious.
And the shocking part is that some of the women were only given the effective treatment. Some of them actually got a placebo. And that's not the real medication. Researchers did learn, though, after doing this test on the women that did get the drug, that it actually did lower the rates for mother-to-child transmitting by 30 to 50%, which is a lot of women. And that became a huge ethical cost, since women and infants were left unprotected.
That's right, Kaylee. The study violated almost every basic human right we now recognize in research.
So, what human rights were specifically violated, Katie?
So we have self-determination. That was gone. Many women didn't understand the risk or purposes of the study. Privacy and dignity, compromise. Women were always treated as decision makers. Anonymity and confidentiality, questionable. HIV status could have been exposed, leading to stigma. Fair treatment, not all. African women were given placebos, while wealthier countries used proven regimens. Protection from harm failed. Both mothers and babies were put at unnecessary risk of infection, which is terrible.
No, not good.
Not good.
So let's break it down into the 4 ethical principles you viewers are studying.
What's the first one?
The first one is autonomy, which refers to consent not truly being given. In this case, there was also maleficence, which means no harm. That was also ignored by using placebos when a treatment was already existed.
And those women didn't know they weren't getting that.
Exactly, yes, which is crazy. The next one is beneficence, which researchers wanted long-term benefit, but many women were denied immediate life-saving treatment.
That's not right.
Not at all. Then lastly, we also have justice, which participants in Africa received a lower standard of care than those in healthier countries, and that's basically exploitation.
Those poor women were exploited.
Yep.
And then moving into the Nursing Code of Ethics, specifically Provision 3. This says nurses must advocate for rights, health, and safety of those we serve. This means building trust and preventing harm. Going back to what Maria said, one of the ethical principles that we study in nursing is non-maleficence. This means to do no harm. Nurses in these trials should have spoken up. Patients were given placebos without true informed consent, which is unfair and unsafe, and that completely violated that ethical principle.
And did they realize it affects the baby too?
Exactly. You're not just affecting the mother, you're affecting a child. That's a whole bloodline.
Yes.
But yeah.
So, do you think this study could have been better? Do any of us have an idea?
Well, for me, I believe you should give everyone a standard of care and no placebo. That was not right.
And I think they should have had informed consent. So the women actually knew what this medication could do and what we were looking for it to do.
Yes, I wouldn't have signed up for that.
No.
Yeah, we could also use local health support systems to strengthen research and not exploit vulnerable populations, which they knew. They just decided to ignore it.
Yes. I mean, in America, we have the same drug, but it's just more expensive and not accessible to these African countries. And so, you're exploiting these vulnerable populations.
Yes.
And then, another thing the study could have done better would be to provide long-term benefits for women, like ongoing treatment and support. They just stopped after these placebos. They didn't continue giving them treatment and they just let them on. That's not okay.
Yes.
And these babies, what are they going to do? They're infants, and where are they going to go now?
No.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
So, Livia, I have a question for you. What do you think knowledge overweighs ethics at this point, or what's your thoughts on that?
In general, with all studies around, specified to healthcare and nursing, it's a tough one. But with this study specifically, I think the knowledge does not outweigh the duty to treat people ethically. You know, these trials showed that the drug could cut HIV transmissions by up to 50%, which has saved many lives, but at what cost? These women were denied treatment, they were exploited, they were put at risk. So in the end, again, you know, the knowledge does not ever outweigh the duty to treat people ethically.
I agree.
And the small group they had effective numbers.
Yes,
So imagine if we would have gave it to everyone.
exactly. Imagine who
Less
could've been
HIV,
saved.
a better country.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
you know, I agree.
I love that. And that is it for today's breaking news from the world of nursing ethics. Remember, science is powerful, but ethics always must guide our practice. Thank you for tuning in to Nursing Today Live. Until next time, stay curious and stay compassionate.
Thank
Bye.
you.